Microvolts transmitted through computer, through televisions, could be used as a mind control tool. I'm going to say this again. Microvolts, which are transmitted through signals you receive from your televisions, electrical signals, right? Frequencies received through your televisions, through your gadgets, could be used to alter your mood, to alter your behavior, to alter your affect, the way you feel. So, my topic today is on mind control. Mind control is no longer what we used to hear. We used to hear concepts like shamans in ancient time using psychoactive drugs, psychotropic drugs to induce anyone into something called a state of altered consciousness, or altered state of mind, right? In order to insert new ideas or new programs into their minds that to change them forever. We've had CIA, for example, and other world intelligence agencies using programs like MK Ultra Mind Program, right? Or Project Monarch to condition certain people that they want to use for some purposes. Let's take, for instance, Project Monarch. Project Monarch is the one they call trauma-based mind conditioning, where they subject victims, these innocent victims, they subject them to months, sometimes years of intense trauma. If you understand the human mind is like a biological computer and it is prone to trauma. It reacts to trauma sometimes so negatively. So when you subject the mind to any kind of trauma, what happens is that mind is fractured. You fracture the mind and you can split the mind into something called um, different personalities, alters. We call it alters, right? By subjecting somebody over and over, repeated psychological trauma, heinous, evil things happening to this individual over a long period of time. Their mind is split, their mind is broken, their brain is broken. And those who utilize Project Monarch understand what they call the dark psychology of the occult. They understand the dark psychology. So when the mind is split, when the mind is broken through years and months of trauma, they create personalities within that individual. And they've had victims of Project Monarch saying that they have multiple personalities living in them. This has a name in the DSM-5, that is the American Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Illness, right? This is like the Bible of mental health diagnosis. They used to call these split personalities, right, that was created through trauma. They used to call it multiple personality disorder. But I think with DSM-5, the new updated version, they call now that disease dissociative identity disorder. Dissociative identity disorder, or DID. That is what is diagnosed. And anyone who understands mental health will know that DID is induced by trauma. People who tend to manifest these symptoms of split personalities tend to have been exposed to heinous trauma. Evil things must have happened to them on the course of their life, which led to the mind being broken. But people who are in the dark occult, people who control other people's mind intentionally induce traumatic effect into the minds of the victims. And once their minds are broken, totally broken, they enter and create different personalities. You see people saying, oh, they have up to 5 people living inside them, right? 5 people, personalities. One may be named John, one may be named Janet, one may be named um, uh, James, different personalities with different affects, different likings, right? So victims of Project Monarch report this, that their mind was split and each personality is programmed to respond specifically to um, to command, right? Because these victims have been programmed to be used as tools in the hands of this cryptocrat, the hands of this psychopath, in the hands of these evil people who don't have any human sympathy for anyone, right? It's their agenda. Their agenda is what they know. So there's a book by, I think, Catherine O'Brien. Anyone could read that book. It's called The Transformation of America. The Transformation of America. Catherine O'Brien was a victim of um, Project Monarch by the government. They use her for all kinds of espionage. They use her for all kinds of advanced prostitution, right? If they want to, they can send her to seduce a president or seduce a governor, high-ranking people, celebrities, to sleep with all these great musicians because they want to create like profile on them to be able to sabotage them if they don't comply with this agenda of these evil people. If you don't comply, they expose you. So now, in the modern world, in our contemporary society, mind control has gone beyond what we used to know. It has been advanced further. Remember, 99% of the population in the world are controlled by 1%. And how do they do this? How does the 1% of the population control the 99%? By information and knowledge. There are secret knowledge, there are scientific knowledge, there are occult knowledge that they are privy to, which the rest of the sheep or the masses or the cows don't understand. And those who control information, control knowledge, control technology, control the world and control other people. So the level of advancement in mind control technology today has grown beyond our imagination, way beyond our imagination. Now you can be sitting in front of your television and somebody in a computer terminal somewhere is monitoring you without your knowledge, without your consent, and projecting something called microvolts. They are beaming you, they're bombarding you with microvolts. And those microvolts, you're talking of nanoparticles invisible to your physical perception, to your five senses. You cannot see them, you cannot perceive them because they're electrical fields. They're invisible nano material essence that exists in the quantum realm. So it projects it towards you or against you and beam them on your biology, on your central nervous system, on all your nervous system, and alter your mood. What is the implication of this in the future? This level of advanced technology, where by you having cell phone in your hand, your behavior, your mood can be changed by somebody in a computer terminal somewhere. You're watching television and the frequencies, the micro frequencies emitting from your television is coded. They are codes with computer algorithms, with AI algorithms. And these algorithms are actually inserting programs in your mind to tell you what to think, right? So see, these people are way advanced beyond our perception, beyond our conception. So, in essence, in watching TV, most of your reactions, what most of your subliminal cravings, most of your tendencies or propensities to buying things, buying consumer goods are programs inserted within your consciousness by these people beaming microvolts into your mind. The world is not what you know. Things are not as they appear. And that is what I consistently um, let people know. We're talking about this to expose some of these things going on in the world, because they are using it not just to torment people, not just to torture people, not just to make people sick, but to rule your mind. We have had concepts like genocide, as I said, genocide, suicide, infanticide, herbicide, you know. But then menticide, a lot of people get lost when you mention menticide, which means there are people who are killing your mind. They are dumbing you down. They're designing technology for the future where you will be controlled. Your central nervous system is targeted, and the behaviors you see manifesting in the public arena. Watch TikTok. You see everybody's just naked, shaking their backside, right? So, and majority of the people are on that digital program. They don't understand how these things work. They don't understand. They just think it's social media. They don't think it's social media. It's more than that. That is why there's a symbiosis. There's an electrical interaction between your yourself and the digital equipment in your hand. And within that interaction, the computer can code you. You think you own your cell phone. You think you own your television. They own you. Your television is the other way around. Because there are frequencies that are beaming and projecting within your biological self that you don't have any idea that is changing your consciousness. Everybody you see in the world now seem to have trigger code in the social platform, in the social media arena. Some people, it might be maybe black people in the US, it might be just racism. It's a code, a trigger code, highly encoded within the digital matrix that can activate your irrational, emotional, instantaneous reaction with no logic, right? For other people, it could be consumer goods, Gucci, right? These are trigger codes being inserted within the program. Remember, there's a guy who wrote a book. His name is Cyrus A. Pastor, and he has been warning the world, saying that in all the digital techniques, as we prepare into the age of the AI, that the digital machines are coding people, what they call the bio-digital self. Bio-digital self. There is symbiosis between you and artificial consciousness. And artificial consciousness is controlling you. There's a virus you don't see. There's a digital virus that is penetrating your mind and your will and overpowering you to make decisions without your knowledge of it. This seems like a technology like 1,000 years ahead of many people's comprehension. Like, oh, how can I be? I'm just watching my TV. Nobody can know, but you don't get it. You don't get it because it looks like it's a science fiction. And that's how a lot of people's minds are under control. Getting people to be hooked up to um, preparing people's minds to go into digital singularity. Digital singularity, the coming age of the artificial intelligence, where all consciousness, all human minds, all human free will be linked into the cybernetic world. That is why if you watch the world carefully and you know what is going on, you say everyone is being pushed into virtual reality. Did you realize old friendships, the human interaction as we used to know it, no longer exists? And in the future is going to be more, because they are talking about uploading the human consciousness into the machine. Because what you know today as a human being will be redesigned as a cyborg in the future. This experimentation has been going on for a very long time, and the earlier we become aware of it, the more humanity can retain that idea of humanity, that idea of a distinctive individual soul consciousness that is sovereign, that has free will, but free will is gradually being destroyed. So understand that what you call technology, the elites, the 1% are way ahead of you because they understand that if they're not smart enough, they cannot overcome the 99% of the people in strength, in power, in agility. They can't overcome them. So they have to be ahead of you in technology, in science, in occult knowledge. In occult knowledge, like 1,000 times. You're always catching up. You are always catching up. That is the reason they make movies and make fun of you guys as Zombie Nation. You see like movie like Zombie Nation, they're making fun of you guys. Zombies, group of dead people, mental-sided people. Your mind, your brain is being killed, it's being squashed in the altar of irrationality, in the altar of unthinking. You've died, they've killed your brain. Again, you have to be careful because the future we are stepping into is the future where free will is going to be taken away. Be very careful because now they are coding most of the things digitally using highly sophisticated advanced algorithm. You have no idea. Even if somebody tells you that, you see, you're going to be thinking it's spiritual, but they are cracking the other dimension as well. Technology, cracking the other realm, some of you might call the spiritual realm. And they know how to tap into the frequency, the vibratory field of the invisible world to control the visible world. That is how the world is run. So next time you look at your cell phone, you think you're in control of your cell phone. No, your cell phone rules over you. You're neurologically addicted to it. Your television, because there are things, virus, there are microvolts, there are frequencies, there are matters, spiritual matter, things you cannot see. And that those things are coded with messages. It could be sexual messages, it could be consumer messages, it could be political messages, right? That is why if you live in the United States, you see the fight between the right and the left. People are coded that certain things, certain words become a trigger code to somebody who is on the right or somebody who is on the left. Just you utter that code is a trigger. They go into this state of irrationality. They can no longer reason. They can no longer think as separate individual because they have been hive mind. They have been in that cognitive singularity, right? And when you are listening to newscasters, there are codes. You don't understand these computer algorithms. There are codes that are projecting vibration of frequency towards your consciousness and inserting these programs like a virus into you to rule you, to control you. Drop your phone for a week and see how you go into anxious meltdown because there are viral, there are frequencies that have befriended you, there are things, symbiosis, there are matters, there are light frequencies that are interacting within your body, which is controlling you, but you think you are in control of it. And I say that in certain program like consumer mentality, consumer head mentality, you get money, you go and spend it, buy Gucci, to wear good clothes and post it on Facebook so that people will think you're rich. No, you're damn poor. You're damn poor. You are working with a code. And understanding this will make us to see how we can protect our consciousness in this world. I've been mind controlling people using um, electronic for a very long time. During the time of 1940s, when Nazi Germany was at the peak of its scientific revolution, we see that using these visible electrical fields. The universe is full of electricity, electrical field all over the place. But they've learned how to manipulate this invisible realm to control the minds of the people. So wake up to the reality, what is going on our planet, because mind control has been so advanced. Advanced is no longer capturing people. They still do that. But you can't use those old techniques to control majority of the people. You can only use those old techniques to control few people. But in the realm of the invisible field, the realm of the invisible matter, the plasmodics. There are things you don't see, the plasma, those vibratory frequency you don't see. That is what they manipulate. And they know that those fields, invisible fields, interact with your biological system. There is symbiosis between us and the universe. And they know how to manipulate the astral light, the astral matter, the invisible realm to influence how you feel. They can use electrical frequency to make you sick, to make you moody, to make you depressed, right? People don't think about that. People don't think about that. There's a book called Invisible Rainbow. Invisible Rainbow, I've forgotten the writer of that book, but just read that book. You discover that most of the sickness we have in our world today, including depression and all these things, were not there before the invention of electricity. They were not there before the invention of electricity. So they came as a result of man's use of technology, right? But I say we are stepping into the age of the AI, and it's going to be the age where all human consciousness, if not caretaken, will be enslaved to the machine. The agenda is to make you a cyborg, not human. They don't want human here. They want to make you a cyborg, and they already engineer. You have no idea. If you are conscious enough, you look at the social media platform, you see that the virus is already affecting a lot of people. A lot of people have already caught the virus. They are into the hive mind system, into the cognitive singularity, into the unthinking. They feel in group. They feel in group, and the trigger code, which are inserted within the electrical system, within the digital system, is activating them to react. You know, you can be watching TV and they say something political or something religious. You react, extremely emotional, with no rationality attached to it, because that is the trigger code that has been inserted within the program. We live in the matrix. The matrix is a system of control, and the matrix is way advanced than you understand. Matrix is deep. It's not just physical, but also astral. It has astral dimension, spiritual dimension to that. So we're not just dealing with the physicality of technology. We're also dealing with the technology of fallen angels. And that is the point. Dealing with the technology of the fallen angels that are designed to keep you guys, who are, some of you are soul incarnate here, they want to keep you here within the electrical grid of the physical dense matter. Your consciousness is trapped in matter, and you can't escape because your consciousness continually is trapped within the three-dimensional cognition. The 3D cognition, as we say, is a cognition that is dense. You have to leave the 3D cognition. What you see is not what is there. If you come out on a bright new day, afternoon, look at the heavens, say, oh, the sky is blue, but actually it is not blue. Your eyes is deceiving you, because what you see there is not what is. If you go to the space, it's pitch dark. It's not blue. So how come you're seeing blue, but you can swear that what you see that is there is blue, but it's not blue? So something is deceiving you between you and the heaven. That there's some kind of deception. Within the space and time in which you perceive reality, there are events happening which you cannot interpret, and that event distorts your perception of reality. You got to understand that you are a soul that have fallen into matter. And because you have fallen into matter, your consciousness is being condensed to focus on the specific point in matter. Like somebody brought puts a dark plastic bag over your head and covers it. And everything you see is within that plastic bag, within the inside of the plastic bag. If you remove it, you can see reality as it is. So that is how your consciousness will be trapped here. That's why it's difficult for some people to conceive metaphysical realities. Metaphysical realities beyond many people's understanding. Like, I don't know all those things. I don't think. But that is the real knowledge. That is the real truth. Because they've condensed everybody's mind. They have reduced everybody's mind to the level of materiality. That is why material scientism is dominating if all over the place, because they want to despiritualize you. They want to take away your ability for higher cognition, the ability to conceive things in the metaphysical world. I always say, to understand the physics, must first study the metaphysics, because it is the metaphysics that influences the physics, or that causes the physics to manifest. To know physical reality, go and study the unseen reality. In other words, it's like an oxymoron. To move forward, you have to, first of all, step backward, right? To move forward, you have to step backward. To perceive reality as it is, physical reality, you have to go introspectively and study the other, what they call the occult, the hidden law of the universe, because it is the law of the metaphysics that create the law of physics. But what material science teaches us is only physics, the physical manifest. And that is why some metaphysical knowledge is beyond people's imagination. You can't grasp that concept, right? So, like when I say that when you sit in front of your television, that there are programs, I say virus, but I don't mean like biological organisms, because these are not bioform life forms, right? So there are microbots, microbotic organisms, synthetic microbotic organisms that are being bombarded, within your nervous system and conditioning your mood. So, which means people can very soon, very soon. And Adlos Huxley talked about this in his book called A Brave New World. That talked about the mass behavior control that is fast coming. Remember, Aldous Huxley was part of the Fabian Society. The Fabian Society, when you talk of people who rule the world, they control education, right? Most of what you call psychology study, everybody knows I'm studying psychology. I'm in the department of psychology. If you step back and look at the history of the evolution, the development of what you call psychology, you take it back to the Society for Psychic Research. Society for Psychic Research. And the Society for Psychical Research was linked to the Fabian Society. This Fabian Society I spoke about in my last video. That is shaping the world, modifying the world, moving the world towards technocratic socialism. That's what they are moving the world to. Even what you call the New Age movement. The New Age movement was influenced greatly by a Russian occultist called Helena Blavatsky, right, who was also connected to the Fabian Society. So they are the ones who are promoting this New Age thinking, what they call philosophical spiritualism, um, that also influenced the movement in the United States called the feminine liberation, the women liberation of the 1960s, was a creation of the Esalen Institute in California. Esalen Institute is connected to the Fabian Society. So all these things we think is a change happening in the world, is a change that has been behaviorally conditioned and designed and packaged, inserted into the societal program, and it's been running and changing people without our conscious knowledge of it. So I'm going to stop here. But the reality is that mind control is no longer just what we used to know. There are frequencies that you don't see that are controlling your mind, your feelings. So humanity is done in the future. And they have not finally manifested the AI. Once they manifest the AI, finally, you see that everybody will be zombie. That is going to be the true era of zombie nation, because everybody will be zombified. Zombification of the masses is ongoing on the ground, and very soon, very soon, they're talking of D-wave computing now. Very soon, your mind will be linked to the computer, and you can no longer have free will. People who are somewhere in the computer terminal. You project, for example, advertisement straight into your head. You're going to wake up at night and drive your vehicle to wherever and go and buy something to promote whatever brand they're selling. But that thought was a consciousness projected to your mind, through the plasmodic matter that exists in space and time. This is the primordial wave, and I am the wisdomizer. Please come back next time.